What's good, y'all? We just got done wrapping up this Barbenheimer weekend. It's been a good one, much anticipation, and I think a lot of us are very happy with these results. I just finished that Barbie review, and now we're moving on to that Oppenheimer. So let's get to it. This was a highly anticipated project that is the latest film from Christopher Nolan to go along with his long line of blockbuster movies. As usual, you know how it goes. After the initial teaser trailer, I was lights out, didn't watch anything else on it, didn't research it, whatever. Better movie experience, I recommend it. Anywho, so I went into it pretty bare, pretty blind, pretty ignorant to what was going on, other than my knowledge on the actual historic events the movie is about. Let me just get this right out of the way. Son, this is one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. I was feeling it. I was just feeling it. I just came out of there with zero flaws or gripes that I could say my untrained eyes and ears caught. Like, I'm just a guy.
Holy fish paste! It's a guy!
I'm no film critic or even experienced enough with this YouTube review stuff to call myself a certified YouTube film critic. Like, I'm just saying, like I'm sure there's some things they might have to say, the professionals might have to say when it comes to flaws that the movie had. But since I'm someone who doesn't mind long run times, because that was one that a lot of people had a problem with, was, the 3-hour runtime. I'm not one of those people. So, I don't mind a long runtime in a movie. So therefore, I had nothing negative to say right outside of the theater. Nothing in my mind was thinking, there's nothing I could even nitpick. I will say this movie is not for everyone, and it's becoming more apparent the more people that see it. It seems that for most folks I see that had a negative experience, it's because they expected more like an action, in your face, exciting, like a Michael Bay thriller type experience. Maybe not to that extent, but I don't quite understand that. Even with the little info I had going into the theater, I was pretty confident that this was going to be a 3-hour long biopic drama that was very, very grounded, drawn out, just psychological focused, political focused piece that was going to have like one real scene of something crazy going on. The testing of the atomic bomb. And can I just also mention real quick, like, I'm shocked that a lot of people were upset that they didn't show the bombs being dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, what? I'm just kind of like confused. What really made people think that they were going to go that route? Because no time from the one trailer I did see and my time in the theater did I think they were going to go down that alley of actually showing that. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but how the tone was set, I can't accept that as like a critique of the movie that they didn't show those things. I don't think that's fair to hate on the film for that. They didn't give any type of misdirection, so I was a little confused. I saw people on Reddit presenting their claims on why the movie was bad. Like a lot of them were calling it like just terrible. I was like, huh? I just have to say, as far as like the personal feelings on the movie, like that's 100% okay. Like if they didn't like it, that's okay. I just can't agree with actually trying to like critique the film and knocking it or saying it fails to live up to the standards of what we consider good cinema, or was why they consider it good cinema, for being too boring because they didn't focus that much on the actual use of the bomb. It's like there weren't enough explosions or commotion for some people, and they were expecting that, and they're knocking the movie for it. And I just fail to see how that passes as fair critique for the project itself when it never intended to go that route. Like the movie was called Oppenheimer and was marketed as a story about his life, including how he became a prestigious physicist, along with, the aftermath and effects of the dropping of the A-bombs, how that affected him, his country, and the world. Like I went and watched the trailers after watching the movie, and I can't see anything that was misleading or that appeared to lead audiences in a direction the final cut didn't take. A specific gripe I saw was people were complaining about like the talk and relentless mentions of Russia and communism in the movie. which again has me very confused. Like, yes, there are people criticizing the movie about Robert
Oppenheimer.
that takes place during World War II and the peak of the Red Scare for being too Russian and communist focused or bringing it up too much. Again, the movie that contains scenes that take place during the height of the Red Scare. The same Red Scare that was plagued with redundant, relentless, and repetitive talks and hysteria about communism was allegedly flawed because it showcased the redundant, relentless, and repetitive talks about communism. I don't know about that one, man. Anywho, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Let's get back into why I really like this movie and felt like it knocked it out of the park. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Honestly, was just so impressed with how they managed to make a political psychological drama with such a long runtime, so intense and attractive the whole run. Nolan just so greatly executed on telling an historical story while adding in necessary bits to, necessary fictional bits and details to be able to create a compelling movie out of it. The lineup of actors was, of course, insane, and they definitely had fun with the casting because there were just so many recognizable people, and they were definitely going for that, I guess, to draw on more of an audience to see a lot of recognizable faces. But like, everyone did a great job. The acting and chemistry between the cast itself was phenomenal, and what I feel is like some of the best you can see from a movie. Even those that thought the film was, boring would have a hard time disagreeing with this. All the characters felt natural in their roles, and nothing ever popped up that ruined the flow of the movie. And man, was there a lot of opportunity to make that mistake in a 3-hour window, but I just didn't see it. Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy pretty much stole the show and absolutely did the thing. They were tremendous leads. I mean, like, we're talking no flaws there. Not like, just killed it. Eat. The moments leading up to impactful or intense scenes had me nervous and feeling every emotion the characters in the story were. I was right there with them when it came to the stakes and just the stomach drops, the tears, the sweating. I mean, I wasn't in the theater crying, being a sweaty mess, but I understood why they had those feelings, and if I was in that situation, I would too. It was as close as being, in the room with them as you can get. You could resonate with every emotion because of like the stellar writing, acting, and the beautiful score all combined into just a great combination for this film. Like, man, the music itself was just great. The score was awesome, and it was more than just a placeholder. It was a perfect complement to what was going on the screen. The psychological effects and how terrifying the third nuclear war is, it's something that's always piqued my interest, and Oppenheimer displayed the intrigue, horror, wonder, and the magnitude of these weapons of mass destruction that are confined of just nature's offerings. And it's a product of nature and from the smallest molecules and atoms and electrons, and it's turned into this beast of a weapon. It's turned into a political, weaponized device that can wipe away mass numbers of human life in an instant, in a flash. It's always been intriguing stuff, and it's just going to spark even more of that conversation and intrigue for people. The actual A-bomb scene, I felt was really, really good. I loved it. Some people thought it was underwhelming, and some even were just like, oh, that's deceiving, and we thought it was going to be this big, amazing thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it was all practical effects, and, knowing that, it was awesome. It looked really good. It wasn't some like greatest of all time shot in cinema. It wasn't up there or anything like that, but it was extremely well done, and I loved it. It was a great scene. I can't wait to watch it again. The anticipating leading up to the actual bomb going off was one I will never forget watching the movie. Like, I was in there, just the packed theater, just silent, and you could just feel the tension in that room, man. You could really just feel it, and I was in there. I'm telling you, I wasn't actually sweating in that theater, but I was feeling something. There's something I won't forget while watching the movie. It was a very great feeling. It felt good being that engulfed in a movie. Many came for the A-bomb. but stayed for what was an amazing film for a lot of people. I'm giving Christopher Nolan's
Oppenheimer
a very, very rare 10 out of 10 verdict. Eek. Mostly nonfiction. I do not watch movies like this very often. I want to get this. Watching this makes me want to get more into that like grounded drama type of genre. I definitely need to check more of those out. It's not something I've traditionally done. I'm usually, mostly action comic book movie goer, but I'm definitely more interested. If it's going to be a ride like that, I'm on. Like, let's get it. I could not have been more pleased with this movie. I think the hype was real. Everything paid off. The big budget, the big casting, the marketing paid off. This thing delivered. I think there could have been a few critiques maybe the pros can come up with, like they can do for every movie. Not saying the movie was perfect, but there's none for me personally. Man, I love this thing, but thank you all so much. If you made it to the end of this video, as usual, nothing too crazy with this review. Just wanted to get some thoughts out and maybe start a discussion in the comments if anyone's interested in doing so. I'll be back very soon with more content for the channel. Barbenheimer was a complete success. Really liked the Barbie movie. Loved
Oppenheimer.
This was a cool little meme era for these two movies and for everyone that was following along with the craze going on. But it was awesome. Fun weekend. Thank you for watching. Y'all stay up.
Down in the valley on the foggy hill rock stood a crazy little demon blowing his top. Fire in his eyes and smoke from his head. You gotta be real cool to hear the words he said. He did that.